All right, Georgia Southern, what are you going to do? The matchup predictor on ESPN saying that you got a 40% chance of winning. That doesn't really matter. It is what it is, but I like to look at that just to get a range of things. But you're now playing at home. And based on the last two games you were away, it's kind of somewhat embarrassing. So this matchup prediction probably feel like you're not that good. I beg to differ, but you got to show me better than tell me. This is a situation here where Georgia Southern will have to show that Jacksonville State is not going to come into Paulson and take a W. One thing about Jackson State that they do have the advantage on us is that they can run the ball. This is something that has been haunting us for a few years now, and we really saw it on display against Fresno State, and we don't need a repeat of that. So I think, well, I know that Georgia Southern needs to come in and set the tone of this game. You have a balanced attack on offense that can really keep your offense on the field as long as you execute and don't do any trick plays. Shout out to the offensive coordinator and the coach. I think the players on the field are more than capable of winning this game. You are a 3.5 point favorite. I think they give you 3 points for being at home. So really you're a point, half a point favorite, which doesn't mean anything. So with that being said, you guys have to come and show everybody that what they are saying about you is wrong, including myself. I think that we're going to have a better outing than what we did the last two games. We're going to be at home. We're going to play better. But just because you're playing better, that doesn't mean you're going to win the game. You still got to find a way to execute. You got to find a way to stop this running attack of Jacksonville State. These guys already ran for 500 yards in 2 games. So you already know that right now they're averaging 250 yards a game. We're like giving up almost 300 something yards a rush, I would guess. So something's going to have to give, and hopefully that we'll be able to stop what they're doing. I don't have any issue with what JC French and the offense is going to do. I really don't. I think we're going to be able to move the ball pretty well. We was able to move against USC. Long as we don't turn the ball over, we'll be fine. I would like the defense to continue to try to get opportunities to get the ball back. They did that against USC. And at one point, the game was actually fairly competitive. Even with all the firepower that USC had, it was still mainly a close game until you decide not to take the points. Keep the game close. Keep it manageable. Don't put your quarterback and offense in a situation where they have to do extra things to have to score. Put them in a good spot. Because at the end of the day, you put them in a good spot. You have other situations that can go your way, and then you're going to win the game. So this is what you need to do as far as the team's concerned. Well, that's what the team needs to do. I feel like we can walk away with a victory in this one. I think the power of Paulson is going to help. I know Jacksonville State's probably going to travel very well. They're probably going to have people in the stands. But I think Georgia Southern can walk away with a victory here. I think if we can establish the run ourselves, keep the offense on the field with a nice balanced attack, I think Cameron Brown is going to go. I think he's going to have a pretty good game regardless. I mean, he's shown that he can play some ball. We can get the ball to him, get Dalen Cobb involved as well. And I think we're going to be fine as far as that go. I am more worried about the defense. I'm worried about the defense. I think the issue with the defense is they got to get off the field. They got to get off the field. And that's the thing. I'm not necessarily worried too much about the offense, outside of just calling the right plays, because you just don't need to do any wacky plays, especially when you have the momentum. Just stop. So I'm not worried about that. You stop that, you're going to be fine. But I do feel like the defense themselves, they're going to have to stop what Jackson State is doing. They're going to have to. You saw this in the Sam Houston game last year when it was able to run the ball fairly well, and we had to play catch up. And not to help, it doesn't help that we threw a pick 6 in the beginning of the game. But like I said, we still had to play catch up, and they was running the ball, and we couldn't stop them. Same thing with Fresno State, and now you kind of saw it with a little bit with USC. Let's show these guys that we're better than what we are showing the last couple of weeks. We're going to have to do that because you lose this game. Georgia Southern lose this game. It's going to be a really big deal in Statesboro. They're going to be asking to remove the coach. They're already asking for it now, but they're going to ask to remove the coach. And at that point, it is going to be 98, hell, 95, hell, even 100% warranted. You can't come back to Paulson after what we've done on the West Coast and lose this game. We lose this game, it's going to be a really big issue. So hopefully Coach Clay Helton got it whipped in gear. Hopefully that he has everything on point to where that these guys will muster up some blue collar, some tough, hard-nosed football and walk away with a victory. And I will say this, like, honestly, you know, I think they're capable of doing it. I think the coach is actually capable of doing that. I think this team is capable. This team is hella talented. But at the same time, we saw what we saw the last couple of weeks. Is that the team that we have, or is that team was overwhelmed with the talent that they were up against? And with Jackson State, as talented as they are, can we compete with them at home? Can we dominate this game at home? Can we show the Sun Belt? Can we show Paulson? Can we show Statesboro? Can we show ESPN Plus? Can they show everybody who's behind the microphone like me or watching this stuff on YouTube? Can you show everybody that you're better than what you were the last couple of weeks? I don't know. I'm a little torn because of one side of the team. I think the offense can move the ball and score points, but I also believe that the defense, that they're going to give up points. Is this going to be a shootout? And now, honestly, I think if this is a shootout, I think it bodes well for Georgia Southern. I don't know how well the passing game is of Jacksonville State. All I know is they run the ball very well. But can their passing game keep up with what we can do on our end? I mean, J.C. French already has 300 yards passing already, which is somewhat a good thing. But he's also thrown the ball 63 times, so I don't know. I'm a little bit all over the place with this one. I don't know, because I really want this team to be something. I really want them to show that they're better than what we say they are. But I don't know. We lose this game, it's going to be about that time. It really going to be about that time. I'm going to start advocating for that. It's going to be about that time. Because, I mean, I know even with the loss of Jacksonville State, you can still win the Sun Belt. But if you lose to Jackson State, how well are you going to compete in the Sun Belt? Because statistically, you can still win the Sun Belt because you haven't started the conference yet. But if you can't beat a team like Jacksonville State, you got other teams in the Sun Belt that are just as good, if not better than Jacksonville State. You're going to have a problem. So let me know what you guys think. I am a bit worried. I'm not going to lie. But I think this team could do it. But we're just going to have to see. I'll see y'all guys on the next one. And we'll be talking soon about the post game of this. Y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.